Hello, my friends. Pappy Stu did a video that was about some of his heritage and about Indian and in his heritage. And it prompted me to do a search for a dear old friend of mine that it was very incredibly influential in my life. And his name is Dr. Sean Marshall. Many of you have been asking me a lot about my history in certain areas, and this will kind of do two things at once. I just found out my mentor and dear friend passed away in February, and I just didn't realize it until today. I didn't find out until today because I did a search on him, trying to find him and his wife, and I just found out about it. Anyway, what I will do is I will show some pictures of him as I tell his story through an article that Celeste wrote for him as his wife. And afterwards, I will tell a little bit about, just a small part about the history of how he influenced my life. And it was in the time that I was doing martial arts. And so I will put some pictures up in that part of my life too. So I hope you enjoy it. He was a fantastic man, and he totally changed the United States as far as acupuncture. And he was very significant in introducing that into our country. So I hope you enjoy it. Create a great day. And you know what? Forgive me, I was having a hard time getting through it, so I was kind of choked up. But hopefully you'll overlook that.
I'm going to tell you a story about a man that influenced my life more than I can have words for. His name is Dr. Sean Christian Marshall. He was the founder and president and headmaster of Zhong Tao School of Chinese Medicine. He passed away February 13th, 2011. He was born in Asheboro on October 2nd, 1949. I'm going to tell you a little story about him, reenacting his life a little bit through the story of his wife, Celeste. I met her a couple of times briefly, but I never had the honor of getting to know her really deeply. Sean grew up in Indianapolis, later moving to Minneapolis, Minnesota. As a teenager and a youth, he was heavily involved in professional music scene, performing under his birth name, Jackie Jones, and later the band The Litter, an American psychedelic and garage rock band first formed in 1966. He went under the name of Sean Jones. Following this, Sean joined a band called the Archangels, playing original songs and were actually stories set to music, a genre dubbed science fiction rock. After being honored to perform and practice with a number of rock greats, including Jimi Hendrix, Sean headed down a different career path, one that was pebbled with all aspects of Chinese studies, including martial arts, calligraphy, and Chinese medicine. He later would become pioneer in the field of body energetics. A popular belief that does hold some weight is that acupuncture first became available in the country in 1972, when President Nixon's Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, traveled to China accompanied by a writer for the New York Times. The writer received acupuncture treatments, responded well and healed, and then wrote about his experience for the Times. A revolution had begun, and with countless Americans becoming exposed to acupuncture for the first time. In 1966, a young Chinese doctor immigrated to the country to practice, offsetting a chain of events that led to legalization of acupuncture in California. Sean opened the Zhong Tao School of Chinese Studies in St. Paul, Minnesota in 1976, where he offered apprenticeship-style training in Chinese medicine and a lot of other arts, with Grandmaster T.T. Leung in 1984. Sean looked to the future and had a dream of constructing a formal graduate-level program. In 1997, that dream became a reality when the Zheng Tao School of Classical Chinese Medicine was established in Sugar Grove. As there was no accredited doctorate degrees offered in the United States, Sean sought a British degree, effectively snagging the 42nd doctorate ever to be earned for acupuncture in the 1980s. The newly christened Dr. Sean Marshall was now on his way to becoming country's foremost pioneer in Chinese medicine arena. After studying with Venerable Dr. Yung Van Nghi, who was now deceased, and his protege Dr. Tran Viet Zun for decades, Sean produced translations of writings and classics, and he referred to them as the cult book. Under Marshall's direction, they have been translated from French to English in volumes sold through the school. For a period of years prior to his passing, Marshall wrote several books, including the Tai Huan Workbook, the Zheng Tao School, and the textbook titled Reproduction Systems Energetics, based on his dissertation of the same name. An adjunct to the school has been the Zheng Tao School Intern Clinic, offering low-cost acupuncture health care to the public as well as the school community. Though Sean was definitely the driving force behind Zheng Tao, the school will carry on and evolve in the direction he mapped out, with Laura Moyle acting as interim president. His wife and daughter will also help carry on his legacy, both musical and medical. On a personal level, Sean still played and composed music right up until his death, even thrilling his students by playing the traditional pomp and circumstance march for their graduating classes with rock and roll twist. He also enjoyed the study of astronomy, quantum physics, wildlife, watching his pets play, teaching Eve guitar, and composing the music for songs his wife wrote. Sean honored his Blackfoot heritage always, and was pipe carrier for the Eastern Band of Cherokee.